Hello. You can kind of hear my daughter in the background, but I do have a couple of announcements for you before we get started. First and foremost, Skald's Tale has been accepted into the Roll20 Spotlight program, the creator program that features a lot of people, so we want to make sure we can tune into that and check that out. But we do want to thank our partners with TTRP Theater. We want to thank Harrison Scannell for our music, Tabletop Audio for the music, and many of the people who contribute art sources to that. But without that, we're going to send the kid downstairs and roll credits. Bad things happen in darkness. What is unseen is perhaps the most scary. Often I look out into the darkness and wonder what terrors await me. I often wonder during those early days what would happen without the protection of the light, and what would happen to the world. It was a fateful day when the world turned dark, when the flock of ravens appeared to distract us from the true horrors that were to come. The day the sun turned dark, blocking our only protective shielding. I remember the day well. People were initially okay until the weight of the consequences sat in. When dark things began to arise and unexplainable phenomena happened. Chaos ensued and people pointed to the kings and queens for answers. However, this was only the start. Creatures that only can exist in darkness made their way to the public eye. Some with altruistic intentions and others with wicked plans. I am here to tell you the story of the day that the sun was taken from us and the ensuing weeks that followed. A story of heroes and villains that defined history. Please hear the story and hear the events that transpired during these foreboding times. For I have the true story, not the lies you may have heard. My name is Christopher Rondeau, and welcome to Skald's Tale Eclipse. What you normally expect from waking up in the morning is the sun shining down through your windows and emanating from the crevices of whatever building or tent you are staying in. But like most days this past week, there's a sense of unsettling as all we see is this dimness coming from outside. When we expect the rooster to crow, when we expect business to come, it doesn't happen. And you wake up naturally, unsure what time of day it actually is. You look around from where you're staying in your rooms, as we still see the black sun up there, this eclipse that has emanated darkness. While we sit there and we contemplate what is moving forward, as two of you have marks both on your right shoulder and left shoulder respectively, and what that means about the undead and fey creatures that came to visit. What does it mean about these standing stones that seem to provide perhaps a clue to what is going on? What are people going to do for food? These are questions that we must answer and decide how we are going to participate in, or if we're going to turn our back against it. The party has made a decision to leave the Vagabond Crossroads and head to the Vagabond Forest. Finding a route that befits them, they are first going to head off to a cave to potentially find some fungus or mushrooms that you can use for a food source. Something that can grow in darkness, doesn't need sun to be able to flourish, and may provide the staple of the diets for many people, though it's still a question of what do carnivores do. Like if we have animals that need that, how is that going to affect the ecosystem? After that, you're planning to head to some standing stones, these arches that supposedly have a place of power and maybe can give you some some hindsight, some insight onto what you may need to do. And then there's rumors that there's a missing person at Luna Lake. A person who had this vision of a woman dancing onto the lake, and then this person went missing shortly after. What does that mean? How does that work out? But as you guys begin to pack up your stuff, look towards the eclipse, some may wonder, how are you going to pull these tasks off? We are traveling for several hours heading to the cave. We go through this forest. It seems very thick. It is not as old as some of the ancestral forests that Demira is used to. While the ancestral forests have been built at the beginning of time, 50, 60,000 years, this one seems younger. The trees aren't as tall. It isn't as ancient. It doesn't give you that sense of awe of being there. I don't know if you guys have ever been to places that have a lot of age. I walked into a castle once in Germany, and it had so much age to it that I gasped in reaction to sitting into this castle that is older than any of my known family and much older than that. But I think for people who are not used to that, specifically Misty and Doc, and perhaps Bork as well, who are there, have younger lifespans. This place does seem old, but I think Demira is kind of quite naturally walking through this forest because she's used to her ancestral elven forest of 10 towns. And as we begin to approach this cave, anything you guys want to do? Anything you want to explore before I initiate the next scene? Great. Why don't you perceive for me, please?
Doc, not only has he never been to an old place, but he probably hasn't been to many forests either, given where he's from.
So I imagine he's walking noiselessly across the forest.
It's not like the reverence is lost on him for how old and ancient this place is and what that means, but some of the impact might be lost as he doesn't know this from a different forest. For all he knows, this is like all forests. Except for that last one where he found the dead body. That was... We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that. What dead body? It looks living to me. You get dust in your eyes? Is that your distraction? I imagine... So this is what Bork gets distracted with as he is walking. He is traveling, and he knows that an elf is following them, the party. And he is constantly looking for the elf and always looking backwards, that he never looks forwards. Or at least not enough to pay attention. So I think everyone will be able to kind of get this look from him every once in a while, as this person following is in her natural habitat, but not Bork knows that there should be a presence there, and is always kind of trying to figure that out. But let's nice perception. So as you are exploring this thing, since this is a rather new place, we'll call it terrain for you, you look amongst the trees, get the sense of the roots, and sort of trying to pinpoint what to avoid and what you can follow. Perhaps you're seeing natural game trails or hunting trails from some of the wildlife here. And as we begin to get close to this cage, maybe about a mile or so off, about a 10 to 15 minute walk, depending on how gung-ho you are about getting there, we can feel that it gets noticeably colder. there is just a brief chill. And while everyone, it's not a sudden coldness, but you can definitely tell that it is colder from when you left the Vagabond Crossroads than it is now, even though theoretically the sun should be up further. Even if there is no sunlight, it's still going to radiate some heat, and you have experienced that at this time should be pretty warm, but it's almost eerily colder.
Like, do I need to put on my heavy jacket kind of cold? Or is it
No,
just
I mean,
momentary, like...
I think so it stays colder. It's like the closer you get to approaching this cave, it is almost emanating some form of chill. It's probably a bad way to phrase that, but we're going to go with it.
Would I be able to use survival to tell if this was a natural or magical effect?
I'll take survival, arcane, nature. That's fine too. Jesus. Not natural.
A magical effect abounds, my friends. Doc calls to the rest of the party.
Huh. Magical effect. Well.
Something is making it colder here, unnaturally.
Oh. Okay.
Is that a sign that we need to turn around and go back?
Well, I'm certainly not afraid of a little cold, but it could mean that things are about to get interesting.
I'm always ready for interesting.
Perhaps we should proceed with a bit of caution then.
Yes, perhaps so. I'll lead the way in then. The rest of you, you're ranged to take to the rear. Otherwise, just stay close behind. If there's any danger, I'm sure our party can handle it. We're strong enough. Nothing we've faced so far can defeat us. We've got this.
Yes, well said. Well, don't mind me. I'll be moving quietly through the bushes just after you.
Subtle. Are you actually stealthing, or is it just a cinematic thing?
Yes.
Okay.
No, he is actually stealthing.
Good. Roll it for me. Cool.
God damn. Where were these rolls yesterday?
If I want to go lost into the caves and also be stealthy, can I also roll?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, 27. And why is green?
It's green
Crit.
because you so you have a d20 dice. If you roll a 20 on the dice, it's considered a crit. So you get you're super stealthy. It's the highest roll you possibly can roll on it.
I'm invisible.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
both of us are pretty good and gone. You especially so.
What? Where'd they go? Uh-oh. I think we've lost them.
I think they're hiding.
Well, I certainly hope so. Hello, darkness. Don't respond, in case you are hiding. If not, I'm sorry.
There's a little whisper in Bork's ear that says, "We're just behind you."
Ah! Oh. Okay, good. Apparently they're just behind us.
I think you
Alright.
can respond.
But does he know that?
No, but I think Doc would tell him Doc would explain what he's doing here in a second.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the whisper would return and say, "This spell is called a message spell. It allows us to communicate, but only in whispers, but over a decent distance. This is how we'll communicate. Let us know if you see anything, but you have to whisper."
Is this whispering enough?
Yes, that's perfect.
Alright, good. I'm being sneaky.
Very good.
And at that, he pulls his weapon and heads into the cave, ready for battle.
You begin to approach this cave, and you can see that there is moss beginning to encroach on the edge and going a little further than you would expect from a natural cave. Because the opposition of the sun has deceased, it allows a lot of these cave floral type things to be able to encroach outward. As you see the opening, you get a sense of a small winding cave entrance going into a dark abyss, and you can sense that there is like air coming out of it, and there's a slight muskiness as you begin to approach.
Can Demira go ahead and detect magic?
Sure. Can you throw up the spell description?
Yep. As they walk in, she pulls out her orb and hums and chants a little, and the pulse goes out.
Great. So you pull out this orb. You say this incantation as this orb begins to emanate, and everything seems pretty natural until you look upward slightly towards the roof of the cave, and there is this small spider web, and the spider web is emanating a slight pulse.
Bork?
Huh? What?
There's you see that spider web?
Spiderweb. Alright.
Yes. It is, magical in some way, which is odd.
Magical spiders. Duly noted. Should we engage or simply make our way and not disturb them?
Well, we don't know yet if it's hostile, but it's your decision.
Alright. I certainly would hate to have our companions behind us be set upon by a spider because we let it be. Think tactically. It might be a good idea to address said spider.
Why have you stopped? Have you spotted something?
Yes, there seems to be a magic spider above us. We're trying to determine if I should smash it or leave it be.
The spider scurries away.
I think it heard me.
Oh. You didn't
Which
eat
makes
a
me
mushroom,
think-
did you?
No mushrooms yet. But I think that spider knew what I was saying. Do you think it'd be my friend?
Maybe.
Could use for spider out.
Can we just proceed, please?
Alright, I'm telling him. Our friend is eager to continue.
Yes, so am I. Be wary of the spider, though. It might decide it wants food more than friend.
As you finish that line, Demira looks up and whispers, "Hello?" And as we do this, you can almost see this webbing vibrate slightly, and you can actually follow the vibration of the webbing going further into the cave.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Shall we then?
At that, I am going to start moving forward slowly. Like I am purposefully moving at half speed with my weapon drawn, kind of sidestepping, with that whole battle stance, just in case.
Demira's gonna keep an eye out for any more spiders.
Okay, so we'll have Demira and Bork going first, and then everyone else. You'll be technically off this map as we move forward, but we'll have your tokens there regardless. Womp womp. You guys begin. So Bork and Demira head in first. Bork kind of leading the way, and Demira right behind him. As we enter in, we see more webbing kind of emanating from the walls. Why don't you go ahead and perceive for me, please? We'll give this to Demira. Demira, you see a couple of these rather actually large spiders, maybe about the size of a cat or a small dog, just kind of walking off the side there. They have this kind of greenish exterior, as well as these black long legs coming out, as if it's like a daddy long leg spider. But the green kind of interests you. It has these like almost veins of green emanating through it. Not something that seems very, very unusual. I mean, you've encountered many different types of creatures. You are learned. Not natural. I'll give you that for free. But they, as you guys kind of approach, they spew out this webbing, and right in front of you, there's just this kind of like sticky substance blocking your path.
Demira will just move forward a little bit, and she's gonna try to read the aura on one of the spiders.
Okay, this takes a minute. Do you want to try to spend the time?
Yeah.
Okay. Bork, what are you going to do? You see Demira. Is this a crystal ball?
Yeah.
Okay. Pulls out the crystal ball and tries to seemingly cast a spell, but Bork, you have time to do something if you'd like.
While you're trying to do that, I'll distract them, I guess. Hello, spiders. I am hoping you are intelligent enough to understand me and not hungry enough to attack me.
As you
Do not.
As you say this, there's a little bit of an echo going deeper into the cave. So even if Doc and Misty aren't terribly close, you can still kind of hear the sound as it echoes down.
Ooh.
So continue. Sorry.
I do not mean to interfere with your home. We are only seeking for mushrooms so that we may have some form of food to grow. I offer you peace, friendship, maybe even alliance.
Okay. These spiders do not speak common. So they like at you while you say this. But we'll say the read aura gets off.
We'll Doc. Doc and I assume Misty, because I don't think Misty can see so well in the dark. We'll probably close the distance to what it is right here on the map in this time, just so that we're accurate.
Yeah, while we are like kind of behind them, right? Behind Demira and Borg, I also would like to try and find Doc. Because I don't have a great side, but like try to come closer towards him and say to him, "Hey, Doc. Doc, are you here? Doc,
Yeah. What?
listen, I have a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can leave him here, go find the kid, take the kid to the villager, get the money, split in half, and fuck off to where we need to.
It's not a bad idea.
Exactly. And they can just wander in the darkness, and search for the fucking mushrooms. Nobody cares about those.
Well, let's at least make sure they're not about to be attacked. I'd feel bad leaving them for dead.
We definitely are, feared, you know that?
You say that about literally everyone we meet, including me.
I mean, it's not my fault that people are feared around us. I mean, I offered. That's your choice to refuse that.
Well, you need me to see in the dark, so come on.
Yes!
Demira, as your spell finishes, you can perceive magical auras. It looks like this is for an object and not necessarily a creature. But I think I'll give it to you anyway. This is conjuration magic. These are conjured creatures, and the webbing will also be part of conjuration, I guess, technically as well. Magical in nature, if we think of like you probably have heard of spells that can summon creatures and cats summon creatures and so, but it's not easy magic, so there's probably a spellcaster near who summon them.
It seems these spiders were created or conjured by a spell, which means there is someone or something in here that casts magic. Bork? Bork?
A spell, you say? So, these creatures here, they may not be able to understand me, but the master might, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Right. Fall back a little bit, and if you know where our friends are, warn them to be careful and be ready.
Demira looks behind her and waves.
Like waves back.
Can she see them?
Sure. They're like leaning up against the wall. They're being very, very quiet, but we'll say that if you turn around, they don't have the specifications needed for sneaking against you specifically. So we'll say that. Hello, how are you?
We're going to proceed carefully.
Attention, denizen of this
Okay,
cave.
well, maybe not.
I am
Never mind.
your spiders, quite adorable, have spat in front of me to stop me. I accept your boundaries and ask for parley.
Was that the plan?
It wasn't what he told me.
Okay. Bork gets one response, and it's a word you're not quite sure you ever heard from, but you heard Patika, and we are going to roll initiative.
Is it in a language I know?
Yeah, it's attack backwards.
Wait, so it's just common, but he...
Hey, I've been reading comic books, Zantana and DC Comics. That says words backwards for her spells.
Can you add two additional numbers to my initiative?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I have been using my stealth as my initiative, which would make it lower, but has to do with the class feature.
Okay. So what is it?
It's 11. I got it entered.
Got it. Okay, so all goes wrong, you put on combat. So
I had such a good plan and now it's all ruined.
funny part is I rolled a 21 against diplomacy. It's always by one. Okay, so this spider to the right of Bork is going to scurry down the wall, and it's going to end up on the ground here. And it's going to hold the rest of its actions. It's going to ready an action specifically. Demir, you are up.
Okay, Bork, I'm sure you can take care of this. So I'm gonna give you a little help. And she starts chanting with her orb again.
That's one action.
Can I cast multiple cantrips? Is that fine?
Yeah, that's fine. I think so. As long as you follow the 3-action economy.
Okay. Then... she'll, try to daze. Let's see, they're in range. Yeah.
Yeah. Who are you focusing that on?
This one.
Okay. Dazed one. Is it just dazed?
That's a critical fail.
The dazed.
It is also stunned.
Okay. It is stunned one. So it's very sad. I'm very sad. This one is stunned. We will give it a red marker for now.
Stunned one isn't so bad. It pretty much just loses one of its actions.
Mm-hmm. It's stunned one and dazed one.
And it takes 3 damage. Yeah.
Critical damage? This...
No, 3.
Okay.
Nah, just 3 regular damage.
Nice.
Mental damage, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that kills its reaction. All right. This takes us to Duck.
Doc will, as a free action, say to Misty, I'm moving forward,
Okay.
before doing exactly that.
That makes sense. That tracks. That's logical.
And thrusting his holy symbol forward, he shoots a divine lance at that one. And because it hasn't acted yet, it is susceptible to my surprise attack, which pretty much just makes it flat-footed against me.
Okay. Go ahead and take a what, +2, or it takes a -2 to his AC technically.
It takes a -2, and I get a +1 from being inspired.
Great.
Oh, I didn't come with an attack roll. I thought it would. Set this up real quick. Okay. Let's try that again.
I believe in you.
23 against its flat-footed.
23 what?
I don't suppose it's a crit, is it?
It is not. I was checking.
Yeah.
There's also, though, a damage of 7 because it's +1 to damage as well.
Oh,
Rock
hell
on.
yeah. 7 points of lawful damage.
I'm gonna take a -1 damage for the days as well, because we did not calculate that. Great. You are no longer stealth.
Yep, and that is all 3 of my actions.
Cool. So this spider is going to look towards Bork, who is the biggest target right now, and it is going to try a web attack. There's a crit at you.
Holy crap, that is definitely a critical.
Got him right in the eyes.
A creature that is hit by the hunter spider's web attack is immobilized and stuck to the nearest surface until it escapes. So, I love this idea that as Doc is walking down here, sneaking right before the divine lance, he sees Bork just get pinned to the wall behind him here, and then Doc uses his spell.
Cool. Oh my.
It's gonna take another action to move up here, and will end its turn. Misty, go ahead and take your turn.
I have a question. How large are those spiders? Like, are we talking these spiders?
No,
Or are we
they're
talking
like
these
they're like cat size. So
cat-sized spiders? Okay. Now around me, how large are the spider webs?
So the spider webs as you're entering the cage has slowly gotten bigger and bigger. These spider webs that are along the walls and the ceilings, they're probably about the size of metrics, like 3 meters in size if you think from the center.
Well,
to
let's
the
just say
diameter.
it's not like one thread, right? It's much more thread.
Right. All the
Okay.
threads seem to be connected slightly, but they're large webs that are connected by smaller threads. If you
Okay. I have adventurer's kit, thieves tools, disguise kit. Is there some sort of a thing which would help me to, I don't know, get some sort of a stick and lit a fire?
Adventurer's Kit should have a torch, and you should have like a tinderbox, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to lit a torch.
Got it.
Is that one action, or do I still can do something?
We'll say that's a use an object. That's fine. So you have, we'll say 1 action to pull it out, 1 action to light it. You'll have 1 action left.
Do I need to move, or am I around me can find, like, we're basically, I want to find the biggest around me spider web, and I want to start burning it,
Yeah, you can
set
do
it
that.
on fire. Yeah,
Third
that's what
action
I'm
there.
trying to do.
Okay. I'm sorry, Bork. He left. Oh no.
I mean, he's in spider web.
I'm here.
His disappeared into the eclipse. Misty lights his torch, puts it towards this spider web as it begins to slowly expand out. First person it is going to touch is going to be Bork, who is currently pinned on the wall by a spider web, and then it's
I
gonna
didn't see that.
slowly erupt to the groundwork behind. Let's go ahead and just add some fire animations. Why not?
Question is, will the fire reach me within the 6 seconds of her turn, or do I have a move action before it gets to me?
That's a good question. I will give that to you. If you can get out of this webbing before the end of your turn, I will allow you to take half damage.
All right.
Just gotta get more fire.
It's a lot of fire.
Okay. So, we'll say like 3d6 fire damage before they scurry away from the webbing. We'll say 3d6. So they slowly begin to burn, and they begin to be kind of jittery as they jump from surface to surface, trying to find places as the webbing quickly clears up. We also begin to see further in the cave with the brief light, and we get the glimmer of this man. He has white hair, this dark gray skin. He is wearing leathers with some sort of sword on his belt, and he seems to be just observing the fight. As the fire comes up, he shields his eyes briefly, and then the webbing disappears, and we're stuck with just the torchlight. That was a good move.
Well, that was effective.
I know that.
This one is going to scurry up here. He's going to take 2 actions to get here. He's going to burn, and then he is going to try to attack Orc as well. $28 to hit you, Orc.
Ugh. It hits.
Yeah, you're going to take 8 piercing damage, and you're going to have to make a fortitude save.
Okay, I see it. I see where it is.
Okay. You get 1 round of poison.
Yeesh.
And you take 1 poison damage, and you are flat-footed. Bork, you're up.
Okay. All right. Trying to remember how much temporary HP I get from rage. Does anyone happen to remember? Hold on, let me just...
Level plus con.
temporary- Okay. So... Con mod of 3 or level 2. So that'll give me 5 HP after having just been attacked by a spitter. Borkias, is it strength based that the webbing to break free from the webbing, or can I break it with my sword, or?
I'll let you attack it if you want.
Okay. So, his attack and his second action are both going to happen at the same time.
Sure.
Alright?
Go for it.
So, Barkias is going to yell at the man that's in the back.
Fine! If it's battle you want, so be it!
Intimidation.
Nice.
Alright. Yeah, you can hit the webbing. I'm not gonna worry about a high AC for that. Yeah, so for the brief moment as this guy was blocking his lights, you can kind of hear him backing away from this area, heading further into the cave. Alright, go ahead and roll damage on the webbing. We gave it 10 HP. Great. So you are free, with one more action left. What are you attacking? Are you making a second attack?
I am attacking the spitter in front of me.
Okay. 14 will miss. 15
A
will
15 hit?
Scurry, a little bastard. Yeah, well, a 15 hit because it's
miss.
14
15 will
plus
miss.
1. How else can we BS this? Let me see here. Aw, he's not flanked.
That crit damage. His crits are scary. Okay. Would you like to end your turn?
That's all I have, right? Is the 3 moves, right? I
yes, so.
used one to break out, one to intimidate, one to attack the spider. So
Sounds good. Go ahead and take 3 fire damage for narrowly escaping the brunt of it. Probably to Misty's slight surprise, or maybe it was intentional. I'm not quite sure, but we'll find out later. This will take us to this hunting spider, who is currently stunned 1 and dazed 1. So everything is concealed to the spider. So it is going to kind of try to get a feel for what's going on. He's going to kind of clumsily move around, and then we are going to shoot at Doc with a -2 with the web attack.
How dare you?
20.
Oh yeah, that hits.
All right, and you are pinned to this wall here next to Misty. Which it only gets 2 actions. Going to do this, so it's just going to go like, and spit this webbing at you. Is now the mental image I have, and you are small halfling is pinned to the wall. Demira, you're up.
Unfortunately, I don't have anything sharp, and Demira is not confident in her ability to pry somebody out of a spider web. So she will continue inspire courage,
Cool.
and do a daze on this one.
Dazed. So it is now dazed 1, and this one is no longer dazed or stunned. Perfect. 6 is a Doc.
Are my hands free?
Sure. You can wiggle them free for free.
Excellent. I'm gonna cast spells then. I'll Divine Lance that one that just spit me up against the wall.
Okay.
24 and 7 damage.
How would you like to kill it?
So, getting pinned up against the wall, Doc kind of like grunts as he's jostled and forcibly moved, but he kind of pushes his hand through the webbing, probably grumbling all the while about how this is not going to come off of his coat. And seeing the one that hit him, he's like, well, you're a cheeky little one. Right back at you. From his holy symbol flies a lance that just sticks it right through. Like when you hit a fruit with a splitter.
Nice. That is 2 actions. You have 1 more.
I will free myself.
Okay, you can use a, I believe you can use athletics or acrobatics to try to escape out of this. The DC 17.
Great. I'm so good at both of those. Oh, wait, hold on. I have an ability I haven't read in a while.
What a weird. When-
Oh, okay. This is when I would roll to escape. I get a critical success if I would succeed instead.
Right. Unfortunately, critical success won't
Yeah.
won't do much for this. And
I thought it would make it easier.
worth a
Okay.
try.
At any rate, I suppose we'll try acrobatics. Because my athletics is terrible. Oh, shit. I did it.
Oh yeah, you're out. You're free, and that ends your 3 actions.
Yep, and that's it. He pulls himself free and is like, ah, that was awful.
This hunting spider is going to head towards Demira, and you mentioned this this light coming from the orb to inspire courage. I'm guessing, or is it okay? To inspire courage, and the spider kind of comes up to it, and it looks at the orb, and you can feel your mark. I believe it's on yours specifically. Is on your right.
Yeah,
Left?
right.
Right shoulder. You can feel it begin to get that itching again, that familiar feeling that you had the day prior, and it looks at the orb, and it's going to try to jump up, and it's going to attack the orb itself.
Not my orb.
Probably has a hardiness of AC 20, so I'm gonna say that it doesn't break through the orb, but there's definitely the spider hanging on top of it. And again, you're getting this itching sensation on your right shoulder. Misty.
Okay, so how much I can move, but that I could still have 2 other actions?
I believe it's 25 feet.
Okay, the distance I'm right now at, right, is it enough for me to shoot with my hand crossbow at the spider?
I believe so, yeah.
Or
But you'll probably want to move so
a bit.
yeah. There's party members
So
in between you.
I would move here and here. You think that would be okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Now, I want to. Don't know if I will need 2 actions or something, but I want to tear a small piece of my sleeve. Tear off, like the fabric, right?
Okay.
I want to pour alcohol from my flask on it.
Okay.
Want to tie it around my arrow. Use the torch to burn the fabric, and use my hand crossbow to shoot to the spider.
I'll let you do that with your 2 actions. Fire this crossbow bolt. We'll say it does an extra 1d4 fire damage if you hit.
Right in front of Demira's face.
Right, because this thing is on Demira's orb. This is good. I love it. Do it.
I'm sorry.
Roll it.
What do I need to roll?
Good question.
Do I need to click hand crossbow or under the weapon section or
Correct.
what?
Click
Yep.
hand cross.
Yep. Like that, and it should do the attack and damage.
I think your macro is wrong. You should have proficiency in this, and it's not
Yeah.
trained. So you should get an extra +2. It should be
Put
15.
it at 15 plus 1 for
Six,
Demira,
six,
so
16 will hit.
That's 6 damage.
Does that mean I need to reroll or what? What
You're-
happened? I didn't
You're
understand.
good.
You're good.
So
Okay.
we'll have to fix your macro after game. Go ahead and roll 1d4 fire damage as well.
1d4.
So /r space 1d4.
I roll something different, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm really new. I don't know what I'm clicking,
It's
what
okay.
I'm doing.
In
Oh.
the chat.
Okay. I'm so confused.
Worries. There you go. So this Demir, this bolt comes right in front of you, and like as it moves through the air, the fire begins to kind of expand, and it's kind of makeshift, so it's getting part of the actual the wooden bolt part of it, as well as not just the clothing that's doused in alcohol, and it hits this spider right across for it, and it thunks against the wall itself, and the itching goes away on your right shoulder. However, the slight irritation, aggravation on Misty's shoulder begins to come back, and those are all 3 of your actions.
Mm-hmm.
This one is dead. So this one is dazed, and there's something weird about its current movements as it kind of maneuvers. It's going to go around Bork. So we have reactions that you can use against moving creatures in your threat range. We can use them, but it goes straight for Misty. Just kind of like moving there, and he's.
Oh yeah, no, nope, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, do you have the attack opportunity reaction?
Let's see. Is that a normal thing you're allowed to do anyway?
No, not anymore.
No, it's a special class thing. What class are you again?
Barbarian.
They might get it. I don't know if they do.
I don't know either, actually. I don't know anything about
What
barbarians.
would it fall under?
It's a
I have
special class.
Class
no
reaction.
escape.
You would most likely get at level 1. Oh yeah, that's your special reaction.
Okay. You concentrate your rage, overcome fear, reduce your okay, so this doesn't help you against this. So it is still going to come around, and the spider jumps up, and it's going to pin itself right on your mark, or it's going to try at least. So it's going to roll this attack. It's kind of weird that they took attack of opportunities out of the game. I'm not sure if I 100% agree with that decision. But I'm pretty sure a 12 will miss Misty.
How to know what my score is for miss?
In the center of your character sheet, there should be something that says armor class.
It's 13.
Well, it barely misses you, but it misses you nonetheless. Plus, he has a -2 because he is dazed. It's going to do this, and it is going to try one more time to do the same attack on you with its third action, which will be 11. So he rolled a 9. So this character, this spider, is now right on your shoulder and is trying to bite you, and you're able to kind of like do one of these things to try to get it off as it lands back on your feet. But the interesting thing is that it went for the mark. That'll end its turn. Bork, I believe in you. I believe in you to do 35 damage in one hit. Is Bork?
Bork, are you
He's
muted?
rolling.
So we take this this great sword, and you can plunge it and kill it. Do you have any cinematic you want to do for the end of this initiative?
I'm gonna say, since it's versatile, and it's jumping at Misty. Just as it jumps at Misty to attack her, I'm going to pierce it with the tip of the mauler. And
Nice.
and the end result is, because the mauler is a giant mauler, it splits the thing in half when it pierces it. So
Nice.
with that first action done, my second action for this round before we're fully out of combat will be this. Hold on a second. Do.
You do.
We have made short work of your pets, and you are next. Unless you're intelligent enough to reconsider my offer of friendship. If not, I'll leave your body to rot under the dark sun.
Alright. No verbal response.
So be it.
How are we feeling? Anybody particularly injured?
I'm absolutely fine. Thank you.
Just a little surprised.
The pain in
Cool.
the irritation in your shoulder is gone.
You're okay over there, big guy.
I'm well enough. I'm glad you all were ready for combat as I said to be. We made short order of these. Now let's go take care of their owner.
After you.
He is going to turn and stomp away.
Great. Let's go ahead and perceive for me, please. Anyone who is moving forward.
I have a small question.
Cool.
Does these like spiders, they had like these poisons and stuff, right? But would my character know that someone could use their poisons or their pieces in some medicine, and I could earn money from any kind of like stuff from them, from, I don't know, like Salava's blood or anything?
In a normal economy, yes.
But do conjured creatures' bodies stay?
Not forever.
I mean, if I would try to now acquire like whatever part I find might be valuable, could I acquire it and put in my backpack?
If you want to take the time to, but I think
Yeah.
as you start that process, Bork is going to get his revenge, I think, before that. So if everything kind of settles immediately, we'll get those rolls to be able to collect the poison. Otherwise, we'll just wait just a brief moment while see if Bork murders everyone.
I mean, I'm fine waiting in the background and not indulging into combat because money is more important for me.
Fair enough. All right, so you start this process. I will say it takes a couple minutes to try to extract like a venom sac to be able to do that, and we'll see if it disappears. 17 stealth, 12, 13. So Bork, Doc, and Demira, you guys leave Misty behind with her torch as she's looking over these spiders and move forward, and you see nothing. But you can move your tokens forward if you would like.
Thinking he might have some magic on him, Demira's gonna let out another pulse from her orb to detect magic.
Okay. So as you guys begin to move further and further south, We do see some stairs going downwards. It almost looks like it was like crafted into this cave work. And we take this orb trying to detect magic, and to the right you can see what appears to be like sleeping bags and like the remnants of a fire. And to the left, we do see a small cultivation of different sort of funguses and mushrooms and that sort of thing. However, this cave, as you guys will soon see, doesn't seem very big, but there's nobody here. Magic presence. You can choose to more magic that you're fully aware of. Okay. Scroll down. You detect illusion magic only if the magic effect has a lower level than the level of your detect magic spell. Okay. You get the brief sense moving towards the back of this cave of a focus of some sort. You get the slight pulsations of maybe a magic wand or a staff or something like that. But you don't see anybody. If we towards this direction.
Would you be able to like continue walking to the south and continue casting detect magic, like a sort of echolocation, trying to follow this sense?
Yeah. Absolutely. So we, as you begin to move forward, Demir is going to hear a whisper in her ear, and it's just simply in a very, very poor common tongue. Do you know Elvish? And you look half elf. And
I know a few languages.
So in Elvish, it's going to be Jolton. That's funny. In Elvish, it's just like, we want no harm. You are invading our home. Please leave.
She will say in Elvish out loud. We come simply to procure some mushrooms or fungus samples. We would happily try to compensate you if this is an inconvenience.
Yeah. Doc, you are stealthing, correct?
Yep, that is correct.
Perceiving a wisdom ability?
Yes.
Okay. So, we'll pause that. So is Doc slowly moving forward as well?
He's mostly just keeping Bork and Demira in sight.
Okay.
But that's about as far as he's going.
Bork, what are you up to?
Gave them a chance at peace. Instead, they hide in the shadows, using their pets to attack us.
I think this might be an misunderstanding. Perhaps.
Misunderstanding.
Well,
I opened with diplomacy, telling them I was aware we're in their territory and need food. Instead, they attack. But
Well,
fine.
some
And
people are
your
more
respect.
scared.
Alright. I'll try this for you. One more time.
Do you know Elvish?
No. Do they speak common?
It might not be as well. I heard them in my head, they spoke to me in Elvish.
Alright. You'll translate them, word for word. My words, my tone of voice. Mark them in Elvish.
I will do my best.
That's all I expect from any of you. And I know your best is bestest of all. I trust in you. Now,
It's like trying to turn German into like a romantic Spanish. Okay. You guys gonna move forward?
Well, I think Bork was gonna say something and Demir was going to translate it.
we will enter your cave no further. We will be no threat to you or yours. Instead, we offer you trade. We need food that can grow in the darkness. We offer recompense.
Okay, Demira, do you what's your translation?
She will say basically the same thing, since none of that was it was all friendly. She doesn't use the same tone as Bork, just because that's too out of her character.
And to add to the diplomacy, he is going to take out 2 gold coins and place them on the ground in front of him, take a step back while stowing his blade.
Okay. Doc, are you going to interject at all?
Not yet. I still don't see what they're talking to, so I'm trying to see what they're talking to. Is what Doc is doing.
Trying to arriving at the edge of your vision. We see a man, and this is dim light condition. So it's it's darkness, but dim lights for the people who have better eyes. We kind of see this man here. He has white hair, this gray skin. We described him earlier. This is very clearly what would be like a what's the terminology I want to use? Like a dark elf or a drow. The people who kind of live underneath the surface of this of the world, who have this kind of allergy to the sun. Demira, you likely and I sent out a document about dark elves earlier this week, but you likely realize your position of being an elven woman, where based on their culture of kind of being a matriarchy, potentially use that to your advantage, just as a slight reminder to you from that document. But this person here actually looks kind of ragged. He has scars on his face. He has his sleeves rolled up, and you can kind of see wounds on his arm. He does have a staff that he is holding in his hand, as well as the weapons to his left. And he looks tired. He looks wary. To borderline fatigued, exhaustion levels. And he approaches and continues to respond to Demir in Elven. It's like, we do not have much to trade, nor do we want to trade with the surface dwellers. We want to be kept in peace, and our existence to be unknown there is nothing for us out there.
Well, you do have something to trade, actually. And she points over to the collection of mushrooms and fungus that we saw in like this area.
Did you just say fun shit?
Fungus.
That's what I heard. That's funny.
Yeah.
Get
I
that
could
explicit there.
heal you. You look hurt.
So his wounds seem to be pretty scarred over. They're old wounds. He doesn't appear to be there, but he is tired. But if you want to retract that line and say something else, if knowing that situation.
Yeah. If you have any wounded, I could heal them, or we could pay you. And this doesn't have to be a reoccurring thing. We just need some samples and some mushrooms.
Why don't you give me diplomacy check?
Okay. That's somewhere in here. Yep. I have a +7 and I got a 13.
Okay. He looks at you in Elvish. He's like, what is your name?
My name is Demira Willow.
What's going on, sweetie? You're speaking a tongue we don't know.
I'm trying to get him to come out and exchange with us. He's unsure.
My name is Morlachlan.
Morlachlan?
Or it's Locky in the common tongue. I don't... We will trade with you for your silence about our presence here.
Demira looks to the others. They say all we have to do is not tell anybody about them, and we can take what we need of the fungus and mushrooms.
So they don't want my 2 gold?
Would you like 2 gold as well?
What is the point of money if we're not welcome to spend it anywhere?
Well, times are changing. There is it's much darker than it used to be. It wouldn't be as hard for you to try to make more relationships up on the surface.
I don't understand what's going on here. Am I picking up the gold or leaving it? Also, why are they living in a cave?
The day that any of our kind can freely walk on the surface, Eclipse or not, will be the end of the world. I don't want that. You don't want that, I'm sure. Best to keep our peace for as long as we can.
Alright, I won't push you any farther. I'm grateful that you let us take the mushrooms, and I wish you the best and good luck. We won't tell anyone.
Specifically to Demira, he kind of like beckons you forward.
He wants to tell me something. I'll be right back. He doesn't want the gold. I will. He doesn't want the gold. We can take the mushrooms.
Alright.
Where's she going?
Oh, the ash-looking elf thing wants to speak with her. If you ask me, he's only so pale because they're living in a cave. But apparently they like living in a cave, I don't know.
Are they going to teach us how to grow mushrooms?
No. They're gonna let us take the mushrooms, but they're not gonna teach us. We're gonna have to learn that on our own, apparently. But in return of getting the mushrooms, we have to not tell anyone that they're here.
I see.
So he approaches, still in eyesight of Bork and Doc, and Demir, you can see the two figures in the distance, just kind of hiding in the shadows. One of them does have a crossbow out, not necessarily pointed at you, but it is out, and then this one has his sword drawn. All three of them are male. They look very similar in attributes. They have sort of like the same jawline, the same sort of facial structure, and perhaps they are family members. It's hard to tell with elves just because they live so long, whether it's like father and son or brother and brother. But you kind of get the hints that either all drow look the same or they are related. This one approaches. And
Mira like waves gently to the ones in the back and then looks at the one in front of her.
why I can sense magic on you. My creations were attracted to it. Why is a magic user elf traveling in the human lands? You share this information with me and I'll tell you why we're here.
All right. Truth is, we don't know exactly what is going on or what we're supposed to be doing, but I do know that we are traveling to well, right now we're traveling to the stones to figure out what's going on, but it seems me and a friend of mine have been called upon by some external force, be it the gods or some weaving of fate, and I assume it has something to do with the eclipse and either some coming danger or event that is meant to proceed that involves us. Certain magical creatures are attracted to us for some reason, and we were given a mark, and she'll show the mark to him.
Do you believe in fate?
Quite strongly, in fact.
Seems like you are tied to it. And whoever this other marked person is, well, I don't know if you're a religious sort, but pray to your gods that fate will bring you out of this safely.
Oh, thank you.
We are on a pilgrimage of sorts. Our culture dictates that we must go to the surface and bring back a trophy. Whether we earn that trophy by less than magical means, or polite means, moral means, or we simply earn it somehow. We are here to see the lady to the north, at the lake. Be cautious, though. Your mark may attract her regardless of what you want. But come, let me introduce you to my brothers. And let's get you some, what we can provide. these are funguses from the underworld itself. It is places of that we can grow. Oftentimes you can use simple watering techniques to be able to do this. But here, let's get you enough to at least feed the village. We are aware maybe about 100 people there. In a couple weeks, maybe you'll have crops.
Thank you. That is very kind of you.
We are not bad people. This is my brother here, pointing to the one to the north. This is Talmira, and to the south is Nelmala. You can call them Tal or Mal or something like that for your common-tongued friends. But here, let me provide you with what we can provide. And I think it's not a lot. So like they have the small cultivation center. They were clearly like prepping to only feed 3 people with some extra. But you can take some of this extra stuff and cultivate kind of like standing walls to be able to grow the moss and the fungus on top of it to create something that it's edible. It's a crop. It's not amazing, but you can probably grow it year round in an eclipse, so maybe that's a benefit. And we'll hand that, but maybe after 5 to 8 minutes or so, you can return to your party with a full hand of crops. Let's cut to Misty. Misty, why don't you give me a survival check real quick?
Mm-hmm.
So you are able to pull out one venom sac out of the 3 that is still intact, that you could potentially try to process, assuming it doesn't disappear on you once the conjuration is over. This venom sac can be refined and mixed with a solvent to create something that can be sold or to be applied to weapons or something to that extent. If you want to call it something, it is hunter spider poison.
If anyone has crafting trained, they can try and make that venom into a formula.
Correct. But you at least
I
have
just want to sell it and get the coins.
Nice, Demir has something. But is Bork and Doc going to do anything during this 5 or 8 minutes or so that Demir probably would walk out of line of sight to collect the moss?
As soon as Demira's out of sight, Doc would be like, if ever there was a time for an ambush, it'd be right here and right now while we're separated. Not that I'm saying they would do such a thing, but it certainly would put us at a disadvantageous position if they decided to.
I agree. I don't like it. I don't like not being able to see her. Tommy, is everything okay?
What did you just call me?
Well, Mira, maybe?
Oh, like a nick. Oh, yeah, everything's fine. They're just helping me collect the mushrooms.
Just...
Everything's fine. They're actually pretty friendly.
Oh, good. In that case, tell them I'm sorry about the pet spiders. I did want them as friends.
Oh, I'm sure they can make more, but I'll tell them.
Alright. And let them know we're willing to be their friends. We'll keep their secret. Don't worry.
Yeah, of course. She'll relay that.
Everything is okay. It's a good thing, yeah.
And they stab.
Apparently your companion is quite skilled with diplomatic relation.
I know. I'm glad.
Mm.
She's good.
Yeah. And
Pretty
to
face and great brains. Awesome.
That's a compliment. Yeah, and you kind of get that kind of like there's almost like the subservient nature to them when they walk. They make sure like the path is cleared for you. They don't try to physically touch you in any way, unless indicated by like a handshake or something like that. And they hand you this, and you can return to the party right as Misty is able to cultivate a sack.
Before she does go, could she like ask and take some notes about the best way to take care of the mushrooms to give to the people?
Okay, Google how to grow mushrooms.
Well, you don't have to say specifically what it is, but
Let's see. You can grow them indoors. You can
What kind
push
of
them.
mushroom we talking about here?
It takes 3 to 4 weeks to grow.
not that long.
Got some shiitake going apparently. Apparently shiitake takes 3. Okay, this wasn't an easy Google answer, but so they'll give you like a brief overlay. It's like I can't imagine Demir knows much about farming practices, but you kind of get an idea.
I don't want to take too much time, but she would, just because she's a studious type, she'd just confirm a few basic questions about drow culture, and then she'd head back.
Yeah. What questions are you trying to get information about?
I mean, she would ask like, is it true they're well, that one seems pretty clear. Like any, extra information about their culture or like relationships that aren't already in books or common knowledge, that they would be
recent
comfortable.
Shifts in political landscape.
If you try to get them talking about their society, they're going to talk mostly about their religion. Most there's kind of like this faction between Morgan and Luna, if my memory serves me correctly. This kind of thing where it is the person of the Shadowlands and then the moon. But he begins to tell you about kind of like this demigod figure, like the second in command to Luna, which is someone that's he will refer to as the Moon Maiden, and sometimes refers to her as a sword dancer. Person who can just has such an appreciation of like an outward expression of oneself. Something that kind of goes against both Luna and Morgan itself, but this second in command of Luna talks about like this outward expression, a sword dancer, this kind of beautiful movement. And you're briefly reminded of the vision that this kid had earlier about this beautiful woman dancing on the lake, and you can account that to their own pilgrimage here that they're claiming they have.
Do you know where she is?
The gods seem to be closer to us than ever before. I don't know if it's because of the sun, or because of you and your ties to fate.
Oh, I just meant, if you don't, I've seen her in a vision, at the lake, and I could give you directions if you wanted.
We have traveled to the lake. We believe she has been there, but when we appear, she is gone. We will continue to trek, but it is not easy to find her.
Alright, well, best of luck. Thank you for all the information, and have a wonderful evening.
Great. Party reunites.
Demir is walking with like an armful of mushrooms and fungus, looking a little awkward.
Should ask them how to grow it.
Oh, I did.
Oh, look at that. She already asked them. Telling you. Brains.
Good. Excellent.
Wonderful.
What? What were you two were talking about? Me?
How amazing you are. Look
Oh!
You handled this masterfully.
You would be even more amazing if you would have came back earlier. This is not a picnic to gather a couple of mushrooms. What took you so long?
They know about the Moon Maiden. The one that I saw in the vision?
Who are they? Spiders? More spiders?
Oh no, they're dark elves.
Dark elves?
Yeah, drow. They primarily live underground in a matriarchal society. You probably don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
but
I'm just
anyways.
surprised they didn't kill you, so that's weird, but probably good. I need
Actually,
dogs.
I too am a little surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not. Look at her. She's amazing. They looked at her, saw greatness, and went, better not. You, on the other hand, she'd have... I think they would have killed you.
Well,
Doc, they might have let go. But you, I'm pretty sure they would have killed you.
not sure. I think we would get along quite well with those guys. Anyway, I got perfect thingy. I'm very happy. The poisons from those spiders. They are quite valuable.
Oh, I've studied a lot about creating different like chemicals and potions and concoctions. If you need any help with that.
Finished product is better than raw ingredient. So, there you go.
If you want this, how much are you willing to pay?
Oh, like I wouldn't take it from you. I would make it into a sort of poison or salve, and then I could give it back to you and you could sell it.
And you would just do that without, like, what, for free?
Well, yeah,
No.
I mean,
No, she would do it at cost. Your friendship.
Oh, yes, of course, definitely my friendship. I'm not sure if I want... How much that would increase the price of it? Probably much better. Well, okay, I will watch you. If you will try to run away with my stuff, I will catch you. But you can take it and make the whatever will be the most valuable for me, and I'm not sharing my coins with you, but you get my friendship, so to say.
No, not
Sounds
so
lovely.
to say. Friendship. Which means
Yeah,
from now
right,
on,
right, friendship. Hmm.
That's a verbal
No
contract,
more-
technically.
no more abandoning each other or... leaving
Excuse
each other
me,
to
when
our
I
own
did
fates.
abandon someone.
Just saying, don't do it. Friends don't do it.
I never did it so far.
So far. I like the honesty. But going
Just thought
forward,
about it very hard.
she has. See? I knew it. My instincts. Haha. Now, as friends, we won't do it. Because we're friends now. Yes. Which means we'll help each other. I'll help you like I did when I killed that spider who wanted to eat you. She'll
Listen.
help you by making you rich. He'll help you by, I don't know, doing religious things.
I guide her around in
Don't
the
teach
dark.
me. Yeah. Well, dog, well, proved his value to me, but don't you tell me that I'm not doing whatever friends do. If not me, now you all would be dead. I saved you from the spider, the big guy, and I saved your girl from the spider.
Oh, with the fire.
Yeah.
The
Then-
fire that burned me.
A bit, but you are out of the spider web, so that's better.
That's true. That is true. It seems to me, I don't know, like you might not have had friends before that you could trust.
I had more than enough friends, thank you. I had normal friends, not like this kind of group I now have to hang out with. But Anyway, take this thing and make me something of value. I gave it to Demira.
Oh yes,
Right.
such great friends considering the condition I found you in.
What kind of
Listen,
condition
stop
was
talking
that?
about my condition. He's insane. Ignore him.
Not been insane so far. You're not insane, are you?
Listen,
I
listen,
suppose
wait.
if you were, you wouldn't tell me, would you?
See,
No,
that's the
no.
problem.
Look, I withdraw like this magic wand you gave me, and I say, he gave me even this stick, and he said that I can do some sort of magic stuff with it. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, an arcane focus. How lovely.
See,
It's a stick.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a stick.
So you're waving the stick around,
Yeah.
and the stick lights up.
Ah!
the wand of light. Ah, yeah.
Oh, what a lovely light spell, Misty.
I didn't do that. That's his stick. He gave it to me.
Right.
No, it looks like you cast it.
You're a caster. Look at you. All right.
I'm not a caster. I'm a normal person. I'm not a caster. I don't do this nonsense.
It's
And
not too
yet-
abnormal to cast magic.
Hey, look. Point it at the darkness, and not the darkness where the elves are, but that way, and see if you could cast a missile into the darkness.
A missile. Why would I do that?
Just to see
I
if
put
you
the stick
could.
back. No, we should go. I just want to go back to the town and, then go to the north, get rid of this nonsense on my shoulder, and, never see you again. Well, perhaps Doug. I need to talk to him a bit about other
Nope,
stuff.
not allowed. We're friends now. Best of friends.
Verbal contract.
Yep. And witnesses.
Misty, you don't have to be my friend if you don't want to.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Let's go.
Standing Stone next, yes?
Now that we're all friends, onwards to the the Standing Stones, I believe, are next.
Excellent. I love having friends. We're gonna have the best time ever together.
God, I just move out of the caves.
Demira, can you roll me an occult check?
Sure.
Occulticism or something like that?
Mm-hmm. Finally, a good roll.
Nice. You
25.
you put away these mushrooms in a brown paper bag or something, and as you're kind of walking out there, you look towards your focus, this orb, and you can see mist kind of dwelling in it, as if you are casting a divination spell, but you're not physically casting it, so it strikes you as a little odd.
Guys,
What's wrong?
What's now?
my, sorry. My orb is casting a divination spell, but I didn't cast it, and she looks at it.
Probably means that someone else is casting a spell on it.
Can it be just broken?
You look into the orb, and we see some streets of a town. We see the cobblestones on the ground. We see the buildings to the left and to the right. We see common words written on buildings, though language is discernible. The scene moves too quick before you can actually read any of them. And we follow this small goblin, about 2.5 feet tall, maybe 3 feet tall, and he has kind of this almost flat face. He has very, very pointed ears. He is wearing kind of like basic rags on his shirt of like brown and greenish colors. He seems to kind of have a bit of a hunchback, as if he has just like a deformity. And he runs into an alleyway, and we just hear a knock, just, as he hits on one of the buildings in an alleyway. Brief moment happens, maybe 3 or 4 seconds. He knocks again. The door opens as we see this robed figure, about 5'10", 5'11" or so. He seems to be kind of palish in skin. Like he's human, but his skin is like almost graying in appearance. He appears to be hairless all around his body, and he lets go of his hood on his cloak to reveal an assortment of different piercings. He has 2 on his bottom lip, 1 in his nose. He has 3 in his left ear, 2 in his right, and he has this chain going from one of his piercings on his bottom right part of his face to his right ear. But most distinguishable is that he does seem to have a tattoo right on his forehead. It's a tattoo of an eye. We get brief glimpse of this goblin talking to him. We can read lips a little bit to understand that he's essentially looking for somebody known as the Thief Maker. And I believe we have lip reading in the party. Is that correct?
Yes, Bork.
Okay. So you read his lips. He's asking for the Thief Maker, and this tall man looks down and kind of lifts up his sleeves, and he has 2 tattoos on his wrist. On his left wrist, it seems to have one of a dragon head, and on his right seems to be a almost like a snake or serpent of some sort. He looks down at this goblin, says some sort of thing from his mouth, and quickly pulls a dagger from his belt, and he stabs this goblin right into the neck. We see this goblin fall to the ground quickly, and he is bleeding out onto the floor. He takes his right hand with the mark of the serpent there, places it there, says another incantation, as the blood from this creature begins to leave his body, quickly dehydrating the body, and it turns into a small ball into his hand. He takes this ball, takes a bite of it, and then walks back into the building. And we'll fade to black there.